Hi Hannah, it's Friday again. As an immigrant, having fluent English and an Australian accent was sort of my dream when I just came here. I love imagining myself speaking with a beautiful English accent that everyone likes, and chatting and joking with my Australian friends at school. And accent has not always been something I am aware of, because I thought comparatively I have a decent accent throughout my nearly 10 years of English learning at school. You can't really blame me for that, because when you are always taking the role of an exemplary lead reading class, or taking the MC role at very important events as the English counterpart at the age of 10, you can't really help but feel confident about your accent and your English in general. That was until my dear friend Alex. He told me after I tried to have a conversation with our special English teacher who came from England. He said, I don't think I can understand what you just said. For the context, Alex, probably the only person who I thought is better at English than me, especially in the speaking part. And I thought about it afterwards. He was right, but I thought that was just my grammar issue, nothing else. Then you know the story. Then I came to Australia. The year after, actually, I was first surrounded by kids who also just come to Australia. And I think that was the first time that I have been exposed to the idea of accent, because I at the time, automatically I am more aware of people who speak English in a different way because they're native languages, and that's a normal thing. We have different phonetics and different pronunciation systems. So it wasn't a big deal. Nobody has a standard accent, and we were all cool about it. But things became different when I went to mainstream schools in Australia. And I think when I first started going into mainstream schools, there was this sort of expectation that I could speak English fluently, and perhaps without a heavy accent. Our teachers and friends the people around me, they were very nice people. They certainly understood that I came from a non-English speaking background. Of course, we are going to have some English here. However, at the time, I thought accent is a sign of fitting in. So a good accent means that I can fit in. So if I didn't have an obvious accent and more fluent English, I could just make more friends. And people are going to like me more. And that was certainly my biggest challenge when I first joined Shenton. Because I thought this accent of mine, it differentiated me from other people, other mainstream people who were born in Australia, other people who could speak English fluently. And that makes me feel like I am poking my head in a space that I don't belong to. It's telling me that I am an outsider by appearance, by culture, and by language. wasn't afraid to speak out loud, but I was very, very conscious about what I have said. Before the sentence went out of my mouth, I had to think, okay, is this grammatically correct? Does this make sense? Am I using the right word for this? Am I going to offend anyone by saying this? And how do I pronounce these words properly? So yeah, I don't want to make a fool out of myself, and so yeah, that makes it very hard for me to chat with other people around me. And this way I feel disconnected from people. It's not that people refuse to be friends with me and make connection with me. It's that I think personally I started distancing myself from other people because I thought that I couldn't be part of the group. But I was lucky. I think I've always been a lucky bastard. I started meeting the group of friends that I feel like I can fit into. I met Anna, Kina Long, Shantae, and eventually you. And all of our friends I made throughout our high school time. You guys are absolutely amazing. It makes me feel that I can belong to a place, even though I am different. Being surrounded by our friends, I'm less aware of getting to sound more like Australian and getting every single sentence grammatically correct because they understood me. They make an effort of trying to understand me. And if I make a mistake, they will kindly correct me or help me finish my sentence when I struggle, which I really appreciated. So I completely threw the idea of sounding like a native out of my head because I don't need to be an Australian to be in a bubble. So it was very helpful that I have very, very kind friends as my English gradually improved without me even realizing it. And I think I would appreciate this forever. And 5 years later, that is now. Now I'm in uni, and I've told you this before. I've now encountered questions about my accent in a new way, in an unexpected way. Well, I kind of expected this, but I did not as well. So on orientation day for international student, we all know that it's a day for international student. There are lecturers and tutors, and my peers ask me, "Are you Australian?" And that was actually the exact wording. Okay, I couldn't process that question at first. I was like, what are they talking about? Why did they ask that? I have a very, very Asian-looking face. I guess Australia is becoming more multicultural, but when you see a person that looks like Asian, the first thing you ask is not usually, "Are you Australian?" but "Where are you from?" And I could not figure this out until someone curiously pointed out, "You have an Australian accent. This is not something you can pick it up by staying here for a couple of days." So that hits me. I couldn't understand what I was feeling at the time because it was a mix of things actually. I thought I would be I was quite happy about that. I felt validated, but at the same time, I sort of think I felt a bit sad because that accent, something that shows that I am different, is now gone, And throughout the years, I have learned to accept that I am different. I am different from others, and I should be proud of that. Now that little part of me is gone. Well, not completely gone, but it disappeared a little bit. So yeah, it is a very big achievement for me. Got compliment from native speakers, but I don't think I was as happy as how I would imagine myself to be 5 years later when I just got here. So yeah, Hannah, this is my journey of progress as an international student. I'm sure you have your side of the story as well. This is the story I want to share with you, as well as the international students out there, because we represent, we are one of them. So I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope the people out there, they enjoy this story as well and take something away from this story. As always, I will see you on Monday.